Special counsel John Durham alleged in a court filing Saturday that the Clinton campaign paid for a tech company to hack servers in former President Donald Trump's residences and the White House to gather derogatory information on him during the 2016 campaign and while he was president. In the filing, Mr. Durham says the government has evidence that an unnamed tech executive exploited an arrangement with the government to monitor Mr. Trump's internet traffic at Trump Tower, Mr. Trump's Central Park West apartment, the executive office of the president, and an unnamed healthcare provider. The tech executive was only identified in court filings as Tech Executive 1. In previous filings by Mr. Durham, Tech Executive 1 referred to Rodney Joffe, an internet entrepreneur and internet data expert. Mr. Durham writes, Tech Executive 1 and his associates exploited this arrangement by mining the executive office of the president for the purpose of gathering derogatory information about Donald Trump. Mr. Trump said Mr. Durham, who is investigating the origins of the Trump-Russia collusion probe, had revealed the depth of the Democrats' scheme to undermine his presidency. He said the filing provides indisputable evidence that his campaign and presidency were spied on by Clinton campaign operatives. President Trump said in a statement, "This is a scandal far greater in scope and magnitude than Watergate, and those who were involved in and knew about this spying operation should be subject to criminal prosecution. In a stronger period of time in our country, this crime would have been punishable by death." In 2018, Mr. Trump has repeatedly claimed that his campaign was spied on. Trump allies said the court filing vindicated the former president. Former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski said, "Trump was right. They spied on the President of the United States in the White House. That's treason. Who's going to jail for the rest of their life?" The stunning allegations by Mr. Durham were included in a court filing alleging former Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussman has a conflict of interest with his attorneys. Mr. Sussman has been charged with making a false statement to the FBI about a now debunked claim of a secret communication channel between the Trump Organization and a Russian bank. He has pleaded not guilty. Saturday's filing alleges that Mr. Sussman worked with a technology executive, an internet company, and the Clinton campaign to assemble and convey the allegations to the FBI. Mr. Durham said that billing records show that Mr. Sussman repeatedly billed the Clinton campaign for his work on Russian bank allegations. In July 2016, Mr. Sussman, the tech executive and U.S. investigative firm, hired by law firm 1inch on behalf of the Clinton campaign, worked with researchers at internet companies to put together data and white papers. Mr. Durham wrote, "In connection with these efforts, Tech Executive 1 exploited his access to non-public and/or proprietary internet data." Tech Executive 1 also enlisted the assistance of researchers at a U.S.-based university who were receiving and analyzing large amounts of internet data in connection with a pending federal government cybersecurity research contract. Mr. Durham said the tech executive used the researchers to mine internet data to establish an inference and narrative tying Mr. Trump to Russia. Mr. Durham wrote, "In doing so, Tech Executive 1 indicated that he was seeking to please certain VIPs, referring to individuals at law firm 1 and the Clinton campaign." The filing also states that the tech executive had come to access and maintain dedicated services for the executive office of the president as part of a sensitive arrangement, whereby it provided domain name system or DNS resolution services. Mr. Durham also alleged that Mr. Sussman relied on the purported DNS traffic from Trump Tower, President Trump's apartment building, and the healthcare provider to give the FBI additional allegations about Mr. Trump. Mr. Durham wrote, "Those allegations included claims that Mr. Trump and his associates were using rare, Russian-made wireless phones in the vicinity of the White House and other locations." The special counsel said he found no support for this allegation. The tech executive's claims that President Trump and his associates were using rare Russian phones were suspicious DNS lookups affiliated with a Russian mobile phone provider. But Mr. Durham said those lookups were far from rare. He said between 2014 and 2017, there were more than 3 million lookups of Russian phone IP addresses that originated with US-based IP addresses. Mr. Durham said, "Fewer than 1,000 of these lookups originated with IP addresses affiliated with Trump Tower." According to the filing, The lookups near the White House also began as early 2014 during the Obama administration. Mr. Durham wrote about the lookups during the Obama era. Another fact which the allegation omitted. Mr. Durham alleged that Mr. Sussman took these allegations to a second government agency after first bringing them to the attention of the FBI. The special counsel says that like Mr. Sussman's meeting with the FBI, he also claimed he was not representing a client, when in fact he was there on behalf of the Clinton campaign. Mr. Durham wrote, in his meeting with Agency 2 employees, the defendant also made a substantially similar false statement as he made to the FBI general counsel. In particular, the defendant asserted that he was not representing a particular client in conveying the above allegations. Also, according to the filing, in truth and in fact, the defendant was representing Tech Executive 1, a fact the defendant subsequently acknowledged under oath in December 2017 testimony before Congress, without identifying the client by name. Kash Patel, a chief investigator of the Trump-Russia collusion probe for former House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, said the filing definitively shows that the Hillary Clinton campaign directly funded and ordered its lawyers at Perkins Coie to orchestrate a criminal enterprise to fabricate a connection between President Trump and Russia. Representative Michael Turner, the ranking Republican on the House Intelligence Committee, said Sunday that congressional Republicans would take action following the release of an explosive court filing on alleged Democrat-linked spying on the Trump Tower and the White House. Representative Turner on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures said, "We have to get to the truth. This is a threat to our democracy itself. It doesn't matter really which political campaign this is or which political party this is. This is so wrong, and allegations of such a level of illegal activity that goes directly to our faith in our own government, that the truth must be found." Representative Turner, who's in line to head the committee if Republicans retake the House in November, referred to the Friday filing by special counsel John Durham. Mr. Turner said, "We will certainly use every tool that we have on the Intelligence Committee, Representative Jim Jordan on the Judiciary Committee, every aspect of congressional power to get to the bottom of this." At the same time, he said, there is accountability as these criminal cases move forward, referring to Mr. Durham's prosecution of former Clinton lawyer Michael Sussman, who has been charged with lying to a federal agent. He has pleaded not guilty. Representative Turner said, the pleading set out that Durham has evidence of compromising of computer systems in an attempt to try to basically frame the President of the United States as having Russia ties. The Ohio Republican said the allegations went far beyond the political shenanigans or opposition research that you would see in the normal campaigns where people are trying to find information about their opponents. He said, "This is where government is being used, where information that's political opposition research that is false, is being made up, is trying to be placed into the government, into the FBI, to undertake criminal investigations that are absolutely false. This is a whole new level of corruption and is of grave concern."